Good morning, people. Hope everybody's keeping well. Welcome back. Final video today. We're going to do Spurs in the news. We're also going to look at the Spurs Southampton game tonight at 7 o'clock. We're going to look at Ange's comments, the press conference on Friday, and going to look at the game ahead tonight. Some bits of news around Spurs, and just look at basically the table, some up and coming fixtures, look at the form of Tottenham, Southampton, and yeah, look, let's just get into it. So let's start off with Ange Postecoglou. Now, after the press conference, so this is what he's been saying. So the title of the press conference is Tottenham manager not concerned about bruised egos after Timo Werner criticism. He says, I'm putting kids out of school, I literally am. I'm getting notes from their teachers saying, young Lucas has missed another day of school. That was the reasoning for pointing it out. We need Timo, we need all of them. Of course, he's going to play. So basically saying he's got no choice other than to play Werner against Southampton because he's pulling the kids out of school. Crazy, eh? So Werner was replaced at half time, and described his display as totally unacceptable, nowhere near the level. Now we could all told Ange that when we signed him back in January last season. I don't know why it's taken now. What's it now? 12 months. December, if we signed him in January, 12 months to come to that decision. That he's not good enough. It's really strange, really strange. It was unfair to just tightly kind of put him out. It was the rest of the team. The whole team was very poor that day. Werner is just not good enough, and he shouldn't be playing for Spurs. And so Andrew's kind of backtracking on his comments. So he was talking about starting an 18-year-old Archie Gray as a centre back, bringing on Lucas, who played an hour. Andrew was furious with Werner that he didn't step up as a senior player. The Spurs boss said, we had no choice. I'm putting kids out of school. This was the reason in putting it out. We need all of them. He cannot play. Of course he's going to play. When asked on Friday how Werner had or might have responded to his comments, Postecoglou said, I have no time for that sort of stuff. We're in a fight here. Collectively, we're in a fight. I'm not going to go around worrying about bruised egos. We want to achieve things, want to be successful. We're down to the bare bones in players. If there's anybody in the dressing room who's fit, able to contribute, and feels like they need something extra at this moment, he's probably not the right type. We had some last night that understand the situation that we're in. We've got 15 fit players in positions. We've only got 2. I'm not going to get extra out of people if they don't give extra right now. That's me an indication. That gives me an indication of where they're at. And was asked if he tied into the wider issue of Spurs struggle to win a trophy. Just following on from kind of Romero's direct criticism of the club last week. He just says, I'm sick of that. That's an excuse for me. Even with Christian Romero's comments, I just think that's an excuse. At the moment, I'm here. I take responsibility. These players were here. If we think some mythical thing in this club that prevents success, then change it. What's the point? Otherwise, don't come here. I just don't buy into it. At the moment, we're in a difficult situation of where we are squad-wise, and you either embrace this challenge. If you want excuses, there are a million of them as to why we'll be successful. If that's what your clutch is, particularly in tough moments, what's the point? Move on, go elsewhere. In response to whether he regretted his comments about Werner, Postecoglou said, no, it wasn't criticism, it was an assessment. If we played poorly, we played poorly. With Timo, it wasn't about whether he played well or not. We had a really difficult game. So why kind of target Werner when he probably knows that the fan base are highly critical of the player? He should have kind of done it as a collective, as the team. They all didn't perform other than the goalie and a couple of the defenders. So he says he's asking 18-year-olds to do massive jobs. We've got senior players. In a senior player, he's an international, has won a Champions League, and there's a level of application and performance you need to rise to help the team. He hasn't reached it since he's been here. Wake up, Ange. Honestly, I don't know why he's saying about this now. It's embarrassing. Me taking him at half time with a statement, though, the same way I won't hide behind team performances. It's not different to players or anyone else. So Ange has been quite bullish. He unfazed and remarkably relaxed despite the injury troubles and recent form. He spoke of being up for the battle and was even compared to a general by one quarter. Ange knows what he wants, and if he doesn't get it, he'll be honest, as he demonstrated after the Rangers game. He rejected the word criticism and preferred to file it under feedback. He's in some massive pressure, Ange, isn't he? It's not going well. 1 win in 8, no wins in 5. We're in dreadful form, really, really bad form. So, of course, the difference here in the public end of it, we've repeatedly heard in football that this kind of feedback in front of cameras doesn't go down well. I couldn't help but feel while listening to Postecoglou that he's doing his best to demanding of a Finn squad at a crucial point in the season, especially those experienced players. On a few occasions, he found time to take a joke, and while talking up Archie's performance, pointed to the fact that the 18-year-old had a bright future. The next manager will love him. Interesting. So, look, that was a report from Sky. You know, and he's obviously fighting for his job. He realizes results are dire. You know, he points towards the injuries. The injuries, and we're going to get onto that as well. I'm going to run through the current injury situation. So let's have a look at the last 5 games Spurs have had in the Premier League. Let's go back and look at the form. Just get this up now. So we're looking at. So obviously we had the defeat last Sunday to Chelsea 4-3. We lost away to Bournemouth. We drew at home to Fulham. Then we had that big Manchester City win away, and then we lost at home at Ipswich. So it is really bad form in the Premier League wise, and that's what 1 win in 5, 1 draw in there. Really bad form. Let's have a look at Southampton's form as well coming into this game. If we look at their last 5 results in the Premier League, they went to Aston Villa and they lost 1-0. They lost at home to Chelsea 5-1. They went to Brighton and got a point. Liverpool attended Southampton's ground and got a 3-2 win. And the final game is that they played away to Wolves and lost 2-0. So that's the kind of form leading up for both teams going into this game. Both teams are not in good form at all. So let's go and have a look at our injuries now. This is an injury update. Vicario's out. His possible return is in March. Romero is out. There's no particular type of date at the moment, possibly January the 19th, but it's not confirmed. So yeah, it's quite a long time we're going to be out without him. With Richarlison as well, possible return 15th of January. He's just been injured all season. Very, very injury prone player. Hamstring, it says. Mickey van der Ven, hamstring as well. No idea when he's coming back. And this all comes back to that game against Chelsea last weekend where, you know, Postecoglou didn't have to play them both. He could have maybe played one and then switched it up at half time or in the second half. He didn't have to play with the high line. You know, they were just constantly running back. And this is so frustrating. And I think this is on Ange. And there is concerns that the club are not happy with these injuries. And it is all down to Ange's style of play, and he won't adjust it. He won't, hold back in games, sit back a bit, choose the moments to press. And it's just our squad is injury ravaged. Wilson Odberg is a long-term injury as well. It says type of another injury is another hamstring. I mean, we've barely seen him this season. Mikey Moore's out. It's a bit unclear really why that is, but he's been out for several weeks. Ben Davies also hamstring. He could be back by the end of the year. Basuma suspended tonight. Bentancur suspended as well. 7 is suspension. He's going to be back for the Nottingham Forest away game. So that's it. So we've got what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players out. It is a lot, but this is the Premier League. You need to have a squad. And so many other teams in this league are suffering the same problem. So let's go on to the Southampton preview tonight. Having a look at this website called Sports Mole. A good website. Go and check it out. Got quite a lot of information there. So this is what they say about the game. They say Spurs are winless in 5 matches across all competitions, and out of sorts Tottenham outfit seek a shot in the arm when they travel to Southampton on Sunday evening. Now, if any game could be presented with you needing a win would be playing a bottom team who've got 12 games this season. I mean, if you heard the Southampton manager press conference on Friday, he was really bigging up Ange, really respecting his style of play, being really, really nice. Seems a good guy, Russell Martin. Seems a nice guy, and he's really struggling managing Southampton. They just don't spend the money, don't have the squad to compete in the Premier League. I feel it's really tough for them. It looks like they're going to get relegated. The question is with Southampton, are they going to stick with Russell or are they going to get someone else in? They're so many points away now from all the other teams. It's so tough for them. But he was, speaking very highly of Ange, saying, look, he's sticking to his system. He's not changing. And he respected him a lot. And not just what he's done in the Premier League so far, but what he's done previously in his managerial career. But I guess Russell is a newer manager. And look, that's his thoughts on the guy. So, make that what you think. Match preview. So obviously, there's so many questions around Ange's job. We're in a dreadful form, as I just said a few minutes ago. How can you go over to the Man City Stadium, smash them up, and then you just struggle and, you lose to the likes of Bournemouth away, you lose at Ipswich at home. It's just so bad. And that performance against Rangers on Thursday was a truly shocking performance. Whatever the injuries we had, player to player, players on the bench, we had so much better quality than Rangers man to man. What Rangers did have though was commitment, passion, and pride. They were playing in front of the home fans. They wanted it more than Spurs, and it was a real tough old night. And we're a kind of team now. We're kind of looking though. We're kind of lost those patterns of play. I've noticed. And we're a team that kind of plays in moments now where we could put a good move together, like we did for the goal to get the equaliser. And we were lucky we got out of that game with that point. And it's just that's on top of so many poor performances this season. And look, we're in big trouble, I think. So it goes on to say here as well, with only one success to show from the last 5 Premier League matches, Spurs have slipped into the bottom half of the flight rankings and are just one league defeat away from suffering 15 for the second straight calendar year. Not since 2004 has Spurs suffered that fate. All the evidence is there that we are a team in decline. You can't deny it, you can't run from it, you can't excuse it. We're in awful form. So lacking inspiration from their North London base all year long, Spurs head south, having only won 25% of their Premier League road contests in 2024, picking up 4 wins from a possible 16, although they have gone unbeaten in their last 13 top flight games, with the team starting in 20th place. Southampton will start and end the weekend at the foot of the Premier League standings on the back of their 12th defeat from 15 matches, and last loss becoming that at Villa last weekend. So Sunday's hosts have procured 1 point from their last 5 attempts in the Premier League. Indeed, Southampton have only been beaten once of their last 6 Premier League home matches against Southampton and netted in each of their last 15 top flight games against Spurs, their longest scoring streak against a single team in the Premier League history. So look, Southampton have got a good record at us at home, playing at their grounds. I don't know really what that means. Again, you look at our team, we look at Southampton teams, even with our injuries, we should have more than enough quality. We're looking at the potential starting lineups here for Southampton. Lumi in goal, Walker Peters, Harwood Bells, Wood, Bernerac, Manning, Downs, Fernandez, Diblin, Armstrong, and Okucha. Spurs' potential starting lineup is Forrester, Spence, Gray, Dragelson, Doggy, Kulusevski, Sarr, Bergwall, Johnson, Solanke, and Son. And for me, there should be more than enough. Now, I would be trying to get Maddison in this game tonight somehow. I'd be trying to fit him in to that team. Where could he play him? Maybe he could play him on the wing, play him in the midfield, possibly with Sarr and Kulusevski, possibly. Maybe because it's away from home, and maybe want somebody a bit more stronger in midfield. Maybe that's why I prefer the likes of Bergwall. Bergwall came on in the second half against Rangers, and I felt he did quite well. He played quite well and did help us. We haven't got a lot of options. Maybe just give Bergwall a game It's against Southampton, they're bottom of the table. Surely he can put on a good performance against them. But we will see. We will see. So let's have a look at the Premier League table and look at the results from yesterday. So Arsenal drawing at home to Everton, which was a shock result. Liverpool drawing at home to Fulham. Liverpool got a man sent off, but they still managed to come back and get a point. You know, Fulham are playing really well this season, and another good point for them on the road. You know, they got a point at our ground a couple of weeks ago. Newcastle hitting a bit of form now, smashing Ruud Hull, Ruud Hullit's not Ruud Hullit, Ruud van Nistelrooy's Leicester City side 4-0. Maybe they're building a bit of momentum as well now. Wolves, we saw that chaos after that defeat at home to Ipswich. O'Neill's under massive pressure there. And then Nottingham Forest with a late goal against Aston Villa. It seems 2-1. They doing well, Nottingham Forest. Nuno, they're like 8 points above Spurs in the league, challenging for European places. Nuno's doing a fantastic job there, and it's really showing up Ange and our team, and not just Spurs. You know, look at like some Man United, they're behind us as well. Newcastle, some big teams are, you know, it's not just Spurs this season who have been inconsistent. But Fulham now are 4 points above us, and there's a bit of a gap starting to appear. So if we look at the Premier League table, Spurs are sitting in 12th. All we can do really is move up to 11th points. If we beat Southampton today, we've got a better goal difference than Newcastle. We can't drop any lower than 13th. Manchester United are going to City, which I don't expect them to get much there. So look, not in positions wise, we're not really going very far in this league. Well, actually, we'll jump above possibly Brentford. I mean, Brentford are going away to Chelsea today, which is a really tough game for them. I probably do expect Chelsea to win that game. So we could actually jump up to 10th if I look at this league table now, going into play Liverpool at home next weekend. So there's an article I want to speak about. It's on the football365.com, and they're talking about the likelihood of Ange's sack, and they're ranking the next 10 games. So let me run through this for you. So they say it all started well for a once cheerful Aussie. But being dragged down by Spurs' unrelentlessly insistence on being well. Spurs, this is what they say. When they're good, few teams are a match with them in the Premier League, although when they're bad, they're as bad as Southampton. To make matters worse, they place themselves on each end of the spectrum with unequal regularity. And this is what I think I was listening to. I think it was Perch's show last night. I was listening to his podcast reviewing the game. He was with Carl, and they were discussing that when Spurs system works, it works really well, and we win. But as soon as any manager comes up and comes up with any kind of game plan to stop us, it's a long day for Spurs, and this is what we're seeing repeatedly. It doesn't matter who we're playing against, at any level of team, any level of manager, they all kind of work out how to play Spurs, and it is damning, really, isn't it? And it all goes back to the frustrations of Ange and not adapting. He's just sticking to his system. Points dropped, players looking lost, losing confidence. Our fullbacks are absolutely knackered. You know, I would be playing Spence today. You know, Spence can offer us something away to Southampton. Porro needs a rest. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but Spence, we're paying him money. He's been here a while now. Just needs a game. I remember when he came on, or we played against Coventry. I don't know if he came on as a sub and he got us the goal. I mean, surely the guy can offer something. You know, that Doggy is really tired. Both fullbacks are exhausted. So you've got the system is very vulnerable, but of course you've got their players' energy levels, and Ange does not sit back and he doesn't control games. If you look at Liverpool, how they play this season, they're so controlled. They attack when they need to, and it's not just gone ho. And this is what has left Spurs with so many injuries as well, running back all the time, chasing back because the players are caught out of position. It's not good, guys. It's really not good. And everything there, the evidence is it's staring everybody in the face how bad Spurs are right now. So it says their emphatic 4-0 statement win at Man City was touted as a potential turning point for Spurs to kick on and show a level of consistency that previously eluded them. However, they've gone the other way, failing to win in any of their last 5 games across all competitions. This run has increased the pressure on Spurs, who is currently the third favourite to be the next Premier League manager sacked. Tottenham, infuriating or hilarious form has led to links with potential replacements. So this is how they rank the games in the next 10 games. They start at number 10 at risk of sacking, away to Hoffenheim on January the 23rd. The Europa League has provided some solace for Postecoglou. Spurs are on the fringe of the top 8 with 3 wins, 2 draws and a loss in their 6 matches. The Hoffenheim clash is first of 2 remaining league matches for Spurs, who can afford a disappointing result against the Bundesliga outfit next month. With such an outcome, they would still be pretty sure of a spot in the playoffs, which should give them a chance to avoid the embarrassment of an early exit. Now, this is not good. Like, I want to be getting in that top 8 and qualifying without having to go off that risky playoff game. So number 9, risk of the sack. Tamworth away, 12th of January. Postecoglou was recalled for his always wins trophy glow at the start of the season. For this sake, he needs to prove him right, as his future will be decided by how trophy-shy Spurs fare in cup competitions this term. They get their FA Cup campaign underway with a trip to the National League side Tamworth. It's Spurs we're talking about, so Mammoth Cup upset cannot be completely ruled out, although Ange's second-string outfit should win by a couple of goals, even without playing well. If they don't, this would be a new low that the head coach would struggle to get past. Number 8, home to Liverpool. Obviously, we all seen how Liverpool are playing this season. Obviously, they dropped points yesterday. Liverpool coming to Spurs, you know what they're going to do. They'll be controlled. They'll be good defensively. They'll have Salah. They've got such dangerous attackers. I just expect us to just overall just beat us. You may see like Spurs rally for 15 minutes, kind of catch Liverpool off guard, but as we saw at Chelsea last weekend, quality will shine through, and I expect Liverpool to win that game. Home to Newcastle on the 4th of January. Now, Newcastle's form this season hasn't been great. Why is that? They're similar positions with us in the league. There's questions around the Newcastle manager's job as well. I think it'll be a tricky game. So they've ranked that as number 7. We're playing at home. We kind of outplayed them early on this season at their ground. We just weren't clinical enough. And our high line got done, I think, on one of the goals. Number 6 is Everton away. Unsurprisingly, the majority of Everton's success this term, there has not been much to pick from, has come at Goodison Park. The new era would start with Everton in the Championship, though their ability to pluck a win from nowhere once every 5 games stands them in good stead in building a void relegation. Such a shock victory could easily come at the expense of Postecoglou's side, though the London outfit record against Everton is pretty good. A long wait for this fixture sees it drop a few places lower than it would do normally. So again, the way our form is going, if we're still in bad form, it's a tricky game against Everton, and they'll be well up for playing against us. The passion, fight, that's all they need. Don't have to be a better team than Spurs right now. The system's flawed. The passion will shine through. Number 5, if Tottenham do not sack Postecoglou, they could try again with Nuno. Ha ha ha. But seriously, Nuno's resurgence at Forest has been one of this season's feel-good stories, as their gradual building of a very strong first Premier League ex makes them a shock contender for the European spots. We were just saying that a bit earlier. Nuno would no doubt take great pleasure in getting one over his Spurs after they binned him off quicker than it took Daniel Levy to appoint him. A loss at Forest would not be a disaster it once would, but it would still nudge Ange nearer the exit door. It's a tough game, and then you look at the form going into the game and away to Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest are right up there. Spurs, their form is shocking. The performances are shocking. It wouldn't be a shock if we lost to Nottingham Forest, would it? Villa lost there last night. Nottingham Forest have got some fantastic results. They just don't lose much. They're a solid team. And you have to praise Nuno. He hasn't spent a lot of money, but his recruitment's been solid and he's getting the most out of that team. And this is why I always have to go back to Ange not getting the most out of our team. We have better players than many a team around us. And Ange, he's just not sensible. He's not a sensible manager. Then they got number 4, Manchester United in the quarter final next big Thursday. If he's allowed to stick around long enough, he needs to win a trophy this season. And the Carabao Cup provides an opportunity to end their long awaited drought. Given Man United in suffering transitionary phase under head coach Ruben Amorim, this is certainly a winnable tie for Spurs, especially being at home. Ange has as good as promised that he'll win something this year, and if the saving grace of the prolonged Carabao Cup run is taken away, it could be enough for Levy to stop turning a blind eye to their Premier League woes. Number 3, Southampton, as we just discussed. If we lose that one, Ange's position is untenable, really is. And number 2 is Arsenal away on the 15th of January. Look, if we lose that, it's not going to go down well at all. And I do expect Arsenal to beat us at their ground with the way we're playing right now. If the game is not that far away, we're talking a month away now. And number 1, they think this is the biggest one where he could get sacked, is if we lose at Wolves. And Gary O'Neill is far from guaranteed to be in charge when this game comes, but his side usually fare better against stronger opposition and have the necessary quality in attacking areas to punish Spurs on their counter-attack to condemn them. Interesting reading, guys. It's interesting for me. I mean, I don't know how long Levy is going to wait. How it's going to be pending on the cup game in the week tonight before that's just a performance of results. The club will be looking at the injuries. This is the whole big failure from the club, the recruitment team in that summer window. It is really bad, and they just have not given us any chance really. Let's say that given any chance, Ange could have managed the team so much better this season. The injuries are the injuries. It happens. We have more games coming into this season with the Europa League. We should have signed more players, more experienced players in the summer. And Ange is refusing to change. Look, we'll see what happens tonight, 7 o'clock. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment, give us your thoughts on anything I've discussed. And I'll be back later on for a post-match review of the Southampton match. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and take care, everyone. Come on, you Spurs.